Following is paid for by the People's National Party.
My fellow Jamaicans, all categories of serious and violent crime continue on a long-term downward trend under this PNP administration. So far in 2016, every category of serious and violent crime, including murder, is down between 20% and 58%. In our 4 years in office, there have been over 1,300 fewer murders than in the previous 4 years. Nevertheless, crime and violence remain a serious developmental challenge for our country. I am also mindful that for the victims of crime and their families, declining national crime statistics do little to ease the pain. As you prepare to go to the polls on February 25th, it is important that you weigh the choices set before you in this area of national security. One choice would be to elect a party that during their last term in office tried to frustrate the lawful extradition of a self-confessed criminal kingpin, Christopher Dudus Coke, resulting in great cost to the country in terms of loss of life, the economy, and our international reputation. A party whose members and supporters today still use the name of the murderous Shower Posse as a greeting. I suggest that a better choice would be to return a responsible PNP government that has taken a holistic approach to defeating crime, that has passed substantive legislation and instituted sustainable policies and programs to support our security forces. The encouraging crime trends we are seeing is a result of our policies and strategies, which I will now outline. The first and perhaps most important policy initiative has been to set about deliberately transforming the relationship between the police on the one hand and our citizens. We believe that sustained success against violent crime must stand on a solid foundation of trust between the police and the communities they serve. Therefore, we have taken a number of initiatives to remove sources of friction and build trust. These include instructing the JCF to downplay the paramilitary style of dress and approach. Instead, we have emphasized the civilian red seam and khaki uniforms. The police must be seen as a part of the civilian community, not a force of occupation. This government has distributed approximately 7,000 less lethal kits consisting of utility belts with batons, handcuffs, and pepper spray to police personnel and facilitated training them in the appropriate use of force. Consequent on the amendment to the Dangerous Drugs Act, there are now 14,000 fewer arrests taking place each year for the smoking of a ganja spliff, a traditional source of friction between the police and community youths. This administration has virtually eliminated the use of curfews, a restriction on citizens' rights to freedom of movement. Through instituting the above measures, the JCF now enjoys a better relationship with many communities, which facilitates better information flow to plan operations and contributed to a 61% decrease in police fatal shootings over the past 2 years. This administration does not consider the lives of Jamaicans, even alleged criminals, as mere collateral damage. The second important broad policy thrust has been to significantly improve the investigative and forensic capabilities of the JCF and the ministry. In this regard, we have merged the former Forensic Lab and Legal Medicine Unit to form the Institute of Forensic Sciences and Legal Medicine. The clear-up rate for murder is now over 50%, up from 28% only a few years ago, and it is continuing to improve from year to year. The JCF is recruiting more qualified persons and in greater numbers. All recruits are now subject to background screening and polygraph testing. MOCA has been relentless in weeding out bad eggs in the police force. Between 2012 and 2015, we enacted several pieces of groundbreaking legislation to provide policy support to our security forces in the fight against criminals. These include the Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organizations Act, commonly referred to as the Anti-Gang Law, the Law Reform Fraudulent Transactions Special Provisions Act, also commonly referred to as the Anti-Lottery Scam Law, the DNA Evidence Act, the Amendment to Proceeds of Crime Act, which among other measures establishes a cash transaction limit which makes it more difficult to launder money. We amended the Maritime Drug Trafficking Suppression Act to help stem the flow of illegal weapons into the country through the Guns for Drugs trade. More attention and resources have been invested in attacking the root causes of crime than ever before. Through carefully designed crime intervention measures such as the Citizen Security and Justice Program 3, or CSJP 3. With this project, the Ministry of National Security is spending over $50 million during the next 4 years to contribute to the reduction of crime and violence. The specific objectives are to 1, improve social cohesion and community governance. 2, increase employability and employment of residents in target communities. And 3, improve access to and efficiency of justice services at the community level. The Unite for Change initiative has sought to foster a broad-based coalition of public agencies, private sector, NGOs, as well as churches to join in violence prevention initiatives. This PNP government has improved the level of cooperation with our international partners, which is now being described by some foreign ambassadors as at unprecedented levels. As a result, we have received millions of US dollars in support for equipment and training. Upon re-election, the PNP will continue to build the broad-based coalition against crime and violence in Jamaica. We will reduce crime and violence in a sustained way by developing and implementing public safety policies that balance crime prevention and law enforcement actions. We will continue to rebuild and deepen cooperation with our international partners towards combating violent extremism, transnational and organized crime, human trafficking, and financial crime. We will increase resources to the police to further improve mobility and crime prevention, even as we systematically address issues of corruption inside the JCF in order to build public trust and confidence. We will provide strong policy and strategic support to the Commissioner's Get the Guns campaign. We believe the people are central to this culture of lawfulness we seek for the country. Together, we can overcome the fear that crime brings to our society by working to create a safer and more caring society. My fellow Jamaicans, the People's National Party is the best option to lead the rebuilding of peace and respect for the rule of law that will lead us to progress and growth. All law-abiding citizens can count on the PNP to be on your side. Together, we will continue to build a more secure Jamaica for all Jamaicans. On February 25th, vote wisely. Vote for the People's National Party. Put your ex beside the head, and together, let's step up the progress. Thank you for listening, and may God bless Jamaica, land we love.
Step up the progress. Secure a better Jamaica. Put your ex beside the head. Vote PNP.
The proceeding was paid for by the People's National Party.